Hi, welcome to Mastering Scrum session. This shows Scrum iteration diagram. It's again, we can call it as a sprint diagram. So there are some new terminology we can see is the product backlog, sprint backlog, and time box, and potentially shippable product increment and daily Scrum. So product backlog, let us think about for time being is a master database. Like any product, when customer gives, then there's a sprint role called Scrum role called product owner. He is responsible for the product backlog. He take the requirements and put it in a database, and he will prioritize which tasks to be uh, delivered first or something like that. It's from the master database. We will take like three or four items. They called user stories. Right now, we'll say small tasks. Then generally in Scrum, they call user stories. Those user stories, and as we already talked about, sprint is a fixed time, and there's a 2 week sprint or 4 week sprint. In that period, we'll take 4 5 items, each user story for we design, we develop, and we test it, we deliver it, right? So like that, the process happens in the sprint. The end product, the where working software, bug-free software, that is called potentially shippable product increment. Why? Because we are not completing the entire project. We are taking incremental stories and building. That's why this incremental potentially shippable product we call. There's one more term called daily Scrum meeting. See, during the sprint, the 2 weeks period, every day the team meets for 15 minutes and they discuss how the sprint is going on. And any team member has any impediment, any issues, then the team and as well as Scrum Master, they try to address that. So that way they see that the sprint is running smoothly, right? So these are the some of the things, this product backlog, all those things will be discussed in a detailed way in coming videos. This is sprint rules thing. See, the stakeholder is nothing but a customer who is giving, project to the team. So there is a product owner. Is this is the blue line, right? Blue. This ellipse, the people who are in this, they call Scrum team. The product owner, Scrum Master, and here developers, business analysts, QA people, and document writers will be there, depends on the project. These people are called the Scrum team. In this product owner, he is a representative of the stakeholders, nothing but a customer. So he is interacting with the stakeholders and get the product or project details. Then he pass on that requirements to the Scrum team. So sometimes this is the normal scenario as customer and then the product owner and the Scrum team. But some organizations might have another role called business owner in between the Scrum team and so the customer. This is called a business owner, but I never come across in my projects, but always I follow this, but no issue. But this guy is giving requirements to the Scrum team, the team is building in coming sprints and all. So each role we are going to talk and what are the responsibilities in coming slides. So why Scrum works? So the customer's representative product owner sits in the driver's seat and is monitoring how the Scrum team is building and do they have any issues or something. His quality checks is keep on making. So that's why there's hardly any issues arise. So there's a scope to fix them in early stage itself. The quick reaction to changing, because sometimes markets are changing, then we have to make changes to requirements. So that's possible in Agile. More visibility. So as the teams are involved in every meeting, there's visibility more in Agile in Scrum process. Ideal environment for development, self-managed teams. There's a Scrum team. There are a lot of names that we'll be seeing. Self-managed team, self-organized team, self-help team, and committed team, determined army, some various things because these are committed to the sprint goals. Their goal is deliver this whatever we committed in the sprint and deliver the bug-free code, and that is called potentially shippable code. So they manage themselves in the team. How they manage, like developer done something early, then they will see who is what work is pending. If the testing work is pending, go and he will take up that task, and the documentation task is there. So that's how self-managed teams. So, and any confusion arises, right? Then and there discuss and address that. They will not postpone that. Like sometimes what happen if the any issue part is there, that is keeping it pending, and they move on to other thing, and this will never be addressed. No such issues in Scrum process. And issues are less disruptive. Means generally in software industry, generally when we have a client and the software team, there will be SLA agreement. Any bug, some bugs they called P1, P2, and P3. P1 bug arises, the team has to fix in 30 minutes. Otherwise, there will be a penalty. Similarly, P2 means 4 hours and P3 means 24 hours, like that. But such disruptive bugs are very less scope in Agile and Scrum process. So because we are every sprint, we are testing and we are fixing those issues and continuous improvement. When the team is working in sprint on sprint, they will be inventing some faster way to do develop and produce the results. They that way they become a high performance teams. In Scrum roles, generally there is one funny story people will be talking about chicken and pig. This all Scrum trainings also they use. So there's a conversation between chicken and pig. Chicken goes to pig and says, "Hey, shall we start a restaurant?" The pig says, "Oh, what is the name of the restaurant?" The chicken says, "Ham and eggs." Then pigs think about it. Okay, so pig has to sacrifice, and not much sacrifice from uh, chicken, right? So it says, "See, I am committed, and you are just involved. So it doesn't work. I don't want to get into that." Here, the story is there are two things mainly important. Some are committed, some are involved. Committed means you are taking some work and it is your job to finish it. Example, when it comes to this table, the pig, who are the pigs? Scrum team is a pigs, developer, Scrum Master, product owner. Because their goal is to achieve the sprint goal. The 2 weeks, after the end of the 2 weeks, they have to produce the potentially shippable code. So that's why they are committed to that work. But the end of the sprint, the stakeholders, managers, as consultants, customers, they will come and they will listen the demo and they give feedback. Okay, this is good, or maybe you can add some more features, like that. They're not doing any coding or the testing. They're not doing. That's called called chickens. They're called only involved people. So committed people, involved people, or other way, pigs and chicken. The next slide also same thing is talking about it. Are you a chicken or pig? Yeah, Scrum team is pigs. So product owner responsible for product backlog, just we saw in Scrum iteration diagram. So that is his responsibility. Product backlog, they're prioritizing the stories and giving right information to the team. That is product owner's responsibility. Scrum Master, he protects the team. He's like an army chief commander or something. He will never allow anybody outside getting and coming to talking to Scrum team. So that is his responsibility. The team generally consists of developers, QA, business analysts, and sometimes even document writers, depends on the project. And stakeholders, they're chickens. They're giving feedback and just watching demos and something like that. So just to give you an idea, the each role and what is some of the terminology we are giving. Some people committed, some people involved, and who are committed, who are involved, like that we are talking. So in software industry, architecture is the big thing, right? And earlier days, people are overthinking, over analyzing. Finally, no action taken. That's why they called analysis is a paralysis or paralysis by analysis. So that's not good. Like, yeah, months and years you're spending on architecture, finally no action taken, and no, demoable software or something or like that. So in Scrum process, big upfront planning is not required. The team asked what are the basic information. You build some product or some software, go and demo it to customers or stakeholders, take their feedback, then adapt your plans. That's how you keep giving demos, take the feedback, and improve the product. What exactly the customer wanted. That's the way the architecture works in Scrum process. Again, the Scrum team goal, they should be always main focus should be potentially shippable code, and you are not supposed to give the code with bugs, bug-free code, working software. These are the your sprint goal should be, and the point is getting inspect and adapt. So this is the main the slogan. It applies to the Scrum team. So when you're working on sprint, you're working in a certain way, and you find a better way to achieve the goal, then you adapt it. So that way you'll become a high performance team, right? So that should be the goal. You should be working on towards becoming high performance teams. The Agile manifesto is very clear. The best architectures, the best requirements, the best designs emerge from out of self-organizing team. So self-organized team is the sprint Scrum team. They're the one provide best architectures, best requirements, and best designs. Right. See here again, we are using a new word for self-organizing teams. Earlier, we self-managing team. Sometimes they call self-help team also. So the same thing we are talking in this slide also. So the team that code the system, they design the system. There will not be separate architecture who is coming and giving ideas and all. And simple architecture that works is enough in the sprint process, right? And when in doubt, you code it out. So they build a sample model and see whether it can be doable or something, or build it and test it. So then you move on to bigger steps, bigger taking the stories and building a software and demo it and deliver it. So if the system is very big, then runway will also very long. So the bigger the system, longer the runway. So we never able to see that working software or the working product or something. So that's why they always take incremental, take small talks and fix, develop that and see that everything working. So here, the system architect is role collaboration. There's no separate architecture, same as them, something. Developer team, testing team, product owner, they will all talk, they discuss. Then from there, it evolves the architecture. So that's why they say there's no monopoly on invention. In Scrum team, in generally majority of the teams, somebody says and others follow. But here, encourage to open up everyone listens and something to adapt, then implement it. Then if something is not acceptable, then convince the team member. But we are not going to let down or hurt the people. We are always wanted high performance teams in Scrum. So we already talk about triple constraints in waterfall methodology. There are three things: cost and time and scope. So here we said the Scrum team is a dedicated team, a self-organized team, self-managed team. So in generally software industry, what happens? There's an important project comes, they remove some developers here, they move on to another project. The testers, there's urgent release is there, they move. But in Scrum team, Scrum process, that is not allowed. The Scrum team is dedicated to particular Agile project. Their job is to work on only on that. So that's the role of Scrum Master. We should protecting. He's not allowing somebody to move from different teams. So that means the team is fixed. The team is fixed means the cost is fixed. Similarly, the time here we're always working on sprints. That there's a 2 weeks time box or 4 weeks time box, so the time is also fixed. Then what is the scope? Why the flexible? Sometimes what happened, the team picked like 5 stories to complete in a sprint, but because of some reasons they're able to complete only 4 stories. Then what they will do is that 4 stories, the built working software and potential shippable and no bugs and deliver it. And the fifth story, it will move to next sprint. Similarly, in case the whatever the 5 stories they picked in the sprint, they're able to complete in middle of the sprint, then they can go to product backlog and pull 3, 4 more stories and they can complete. So that either way, that scope is very flexible. So, but only the team and time is not flexible. So, hope is very clear. So, what does now we are talking about Scrum Master and product owner? Let us see their role. Scrum Master responsible for running the Scrum process smoothly and facilitate Scrum meetings. There are about 6 to 7 meetings. Each meeting has to be scheduled by Scrum Master and he has to invite everyone. Right, that is one of the responsibilities. And solves impediments. That means the team having any issues, he has to address that as early as possible so that the sprint goals can be achieved without fail. Right, that protects the team. As I mentioned, he protects the team like this. He never allows anyone to talk, pull them into different projects or something. And main goal is he'll make them the Scrum team to achieve the sprint goals is the priority. He always tried to make the team is high performing team and also coach the team, self-managing team. That means the Scrum Master is not going to, hey, you've done this task, you go and work on this. No, the team itself, the mindset, the team build in such a way that, okay, hey, so what is pending to achieve my sprint goal? Okay, that document pending. Let the developer has the time, go and build it. And the tester has some bandwidth. Hey, go and work on something, build some unit test cases or something. So like that, this is everyone working toward the sprint goal. That's why the self-organized team are collaborating, teams collaboration, all those things we'll be talking. What is Scrum Master is not, the Scrum Master is not a project manager. So he will not be doing an appraisal. He will not be doing some monitoring apply, approved leaves or something. He's not doing. So he's not a boss of the team, but he's also not assigning tasks. He's not giving any orders or he's not making any decisions for the team. But then what is his role? So the Scrum Master is called servant leader, right? He always goes to the team. Hey, how can I help you so that you succeed? And always he's trying to help the team, but he's not ordering the team. That's why he called it Scrum Master. Hope you got that. So what does the product owner do? It as we already talked, the product owner is a part of the Scrum team, but he's sitting in a driver's seat and he's a representative of customer. He maintains the product backlog, and as a, what would we call it in layman language is a master database. He is responsible for the thing. In product backlog, if the let us say item that's a very huge, then it's called epic. In the epic, if we are able to split 2 or 3, or still there is big items, then is called a theme or feature. So epics, if we split big items, called again features, themes, and the features. If you further, if you split, bring it to a granular level, they call user stories. These are the very powerful things. These user stories used in sprints and the team build the potentially shippable code. So again, the granular items called user stories, which are picked by the Scrum team in sprints, right? And Now we are some extent clear what is epic, what is theme, or what is feature, and what is user story, right? When the user story the team picked, then is it sufficient for the team to build the software? No. So here there is a product backlog meeting where product owner comes and he defined what the story outcome of the story. So when the team is built, what should be the example? Let us say the login page. The story name is build a login page for one software company. Then where that login, what is the size of the login box, and then what the text box, what is the password box, what are the rules apply, what can apply, it can apply numbers, it can apply, it should be strong for password, all those things we'll be talking. See, it's a kind of, right, when you have in the two teams or two business people, when they are meeting, they will have a MOM, or minutes of the meeting, or minutes of something, some agreement, right? Here, that's the kind of agreement. The product owner says, I wanted the page should be like this. Then developers, they will ask, hey, can I, if I add special characters, is it okay? No, it's not okay. And all those things, discussions happen. Then testing team ask whether this website is only launching in Windows? Are you launching in Mac? Are you launching in Unix? Do you have to write test cases for everything? Do I need to test in all different environments or in mobile? All those things they will be at. So all these things, if you understand, for the story, everyone is on same page. Everyone has same level of information. So that's everyone agrees. Then they will write acceptance criteria. That's called this, whatever the MOM minutes of the meeting. The technical term we use for story is acceptance criteria. Once everyone is clear, then the story is okay. That's definition of done, they say. That's for the story definition of done ready means this is ready to pick up in sprints. That's the meaning, right? So like that, the stories will be there. Let us say on product backlog, there are 100 stories listed down, but we are not going to work like a first story first and second story next and the third story next. Like that, we are not going to do. Product owner can decide what should be the order. Sometimes what happens, the customer comes, hey, the 50th story, that's important for next sprint. Something that some vendor or some customer wanted some high priority, right? Then what happened? He shuffled the product backlog, and because ROI, the return of investment, as which story brings, then you will put that prioritize. So the responsibility of prioritizing the stories or product backlog is lies on the product owner, right? So he conveys the vision and goals of a project at the beginning of the sprint. And once, let us say, in sprint, the team pick the stories, they design, develop, test everything, and the end of the second week, right? So they will invite the product owners, stakeholders, and customers. Then they will demo each story. They will demo. This is we designed, developed all these things, and they demo it how that looks like. So here, for each story, definition of done is the one important. The way we discuss about acceptance criteria, the same way definition of done is very critical. So acceptance criteria, the team to understand what to build. Here, definition of done, here product owner to say the story is built as per my agreement, right? Example generally is kind of in layman language, we can say no dues or something, like one employee is living, then you will go and get from various department. Hey, I submitted my laptop, I given one a knowledge transfer, I submitted my badge, and there's no nothing is pending, right, from my side. Like that, you get a notice. Similarly, here for the story, the developers developed the code, develop code review is done, and they build the unit test cases. They're following the all rules, like the function should not be have 25 lines or something, and the test cases, the testing team wrote negative test cases, positive test cases. It also works in all environments. The documentation is ready. like that, all the checks you will check and then only accept the story. All the bugs is fixed or something. If any item is not done, then he will reject the story. Otherwise, he accept the story. Accept means that the credit for team. The reject means then whatever the item is pending, like documentation is done in the next sprint, they will move this story, but it is not accepted in this sprint. Then they will move to next sprint. Then they will quickly they fix that whatever the small item pending, and they come finish it in, and it goes in next sprint review for acceptance, right? So so the some of the terms so far we come across in this presentation is working software. That means the end of the sprint. The goal is the team should present working software, bug-free software, and that's called potentially shippable product. Is of course incremental, and team inspect and adopt. That's also we saw that when the team is building, developing certain way, and they find a smarter way, then adapt it and see that you can deliver the results quickly and you become a high performance team, self-managing team. And we also talked about here nobody is giving task to them. They're always looking if somebody has finished their task early, then you look, you ask, hey, anybody need any help? I can help you in documentation or testing, or maybe if you is a coder, you can code, or maybe you can do code review. Those things. That's why within the team, everyone working, the keeping the sprint goal is a high priority, our primary goal, right? Cross motion them. This is again same thing. Comes self managing team or something. We will say helping each other and towards sprint goal. So transparency, as everyone talking like acceptance criteria, everyone talking, right? Everyone knows the end product or the story, what we are supposed to achieve. There's no, I mean, ambiguity or something like that. So servant leader, we talked about this. Scrum Master is called servant leader. Product backlog. So in language we talked about is a master database, and sprint backlog. What are the stories we pick for sprint? That's called sprint backlog. So these are the some of the vocabulary we talk. Say epic feature story task we didn't discuss so far. Already these things we discussed. This story or user story can call capacity planning, estimation, sprint, spike. These are the, I mean, acceptance criteria we discussed. Definition of ready, some extent we discussed. Definition of done we discussed. But again, in coming meetings, we are going to discuss in detail, and we'll get more clarity and more familiar with all these things. And so, what is the technical meaning of each word, right? And we talked about product owners, scrum master, team, and who are chickens, who are pigs. We already talked about stakeholders. Are they only the involved? They are chickens, kind of thing, right? And these are the main meetings in happens in the during the scrum process. So daily stand-up meeting. There's in during sprint time it will happen. Product backlog, grooming, and sprint. See each meeting and their significance. We'll be talking in coming videos. So thank you very much for watching this video. In next video, let us discuss more about Scrum meetings, Scrum, that vocabulary, whatever we have, right? And get more information and become a strong in Agile principles. Okay, thank you very much.